Hello guys, I will be overviewing the world record history on Paradise Bay with Bossa. Enjoy the video. Okay, so the first run of this video is a 39.301 done in January 5th, and the world record at the time was 39.2 or something around that, and Fuel Fire had the world record there with this strategy Fume Boost Flip Boost. Let's see the run. This part is insane. Absolute. Wow. And that was a second place. The 38.775 is done with the next strategy. Unfortunately, I couldn't find a older leaderboard. So Fury Fire has a better time with a better strategy here, but his previous time was around 39.2. Okay, so the next run is by Fury Fire, which is a 38.775, and it's done without thrusters. We are gonna skip that one because the video would be too long. This next run, which is a 37.770, is done by Fuel Fire with a new strategy, which was invented by him. It was the first strategy that didn't use thrusters for Bossa, and it was incredibly ingenious for him to invent that strategy. Let's see the run. Okay, this is the next one. I remember when seeing this run that I will not be able to beat it, and I thought it was the hardest record by Fuel Fire. It turned out to be not as hard as I thought. I improved this time a total of 8 times, and these 7 runs shown on the screen are not gonna be shown. This next run is a 36.589 with the same strategy, but compared to the previous run, it has 2 small changes. Let's see the run. Okay, so we are gonna review the 2 parts that I was talking about. The first one was here. I started holding gas on this part to accelerate faster, and I saved around 0.2 seconds. Here I stopped holding gas. I go much slower there than Fuel Fire, and because I was slower, it was easier for me to hit this fuel and fly over the shacks over there. These were the 2 things that made this run plausible and faster. And also I think there was a cleaner driving overall. And yeah, I'm 1.2 seconds faster. Before I'm gonna show the next world record, I wanna point out this 38.369 with a set of parts that didn't ever officially have a world record. But on this challenge, I was able to beat the Afterburner Fuel Boost Wings strategy. And this run, let's see the run. On this run, shotgun ran out of fuel because you don't have enough fuel to get fume on the ending tunnel part. So that was unfortunate for him. I got the world record on this challenge that beat the Afterburner's Fuel Boost Wings strategy because I had a better ending. I'm trying to find it. Instead of landing here, I landed here, and you don't lose much time not getting the fume. It's much better to collect the fuel here. This next strategy was incredibly interesting for a couple of things. Firstly, I replaced fume boost with fuel boost, and the thought process was that there are a lot of fuel canisters on this track, and perhaps the fuel boost is much better than fume, and that's what I tried on this track. I also changed the suspension to 1 to have an easier time breaking my bus in half. Let's see the run. This world record was a monumental discovery. Even before optimizing this track to its full potential, I was able to get a over 2 seconds faster time than the second place and a over 1 second faster time than my previous personal best, which was quite insane for that strategy. This strategy was definitely the one I had to go with to potentially maybe even get an all-vehicle world record. My next world record was done with suspension too, and it was a 35.049. On this run I broke the bus in half on the ramp with the boat and the fuel. The next one was a 34.348 done with the same suspension, and it was a very optimized run with that suspension. This one was a surprise to me. The 34.3 run that I did with suspension too was pretty good, and this one was surprising because it wasn't by me, it was by Shotgun, and he used a different suspension than me. He used a suspension 6, and while we were on a VC, he said to me that he got the world record, so double points for him for that. Let's see the run. So the reason why suspension 6 is better is that on the ramp you lose less speed, and presumably on the tunnel also. With suspension 6 you're bouncing less and as a result you can collect more speed, which is why suspension 6 is superior to 2. The next run was nothing too special, it was just a better executed suspension 6 run. These two, on the other hand, were pretty special. The 33.776 used a new suspension, which was 7, and the 33.687 started experimenting with an early bass brake concept. The first one didn't only use suspension 7, but it also used a lightweight character, which was basically using the lightest character parts possible. On the next one I started bumping a small hill before the second fuel, which helped me brake the bass faster. The 32.702 run with suspension 6 didn't introduce any new strategies and was just better in terms of driving. I'm gonna show only a small clip of this run. This was a 32.615 with suspension 7, and the strategy is to remove the metal bar in front of the bass. To do that I damaged the bass on the water part, then lean up and down to crash and remove this metal bar in front, and then I used this spike to damage the bass even more. Removing the front metal bar makes you faster in the later sections, and going to the small hill before the fuel is slower than going there. This run was just an optimized version of the previous run, and we are gonna skip that one. The next 3 runs took hours to make. This run was a 31.851 with suspension 7, and it was almost a half second better time than my previous PB, which was a lot. Let's see the run. So this run had the best bass in half brake so far. It looks pretty much perfect. There seem to be no mistakes, and that's what I thought. The next run was a suspension 7 run, which was a 31.835. On this run I discovered a small strategy that allowed for a slightly better half bass brake. Let's see the run. On this run I discovered that you can indeed have a better half bass brake, and the reason for that is that on my previous run I was trying to align myself too well and ended up wiggling my bass back and forth. On this run I don't do that much. If you compare both runs you can see that on this run I do it much less, and on the previous one I did it too much. So I was able to get an even better half bass brake. For my wings to work the best, I need to move as little as possible, because any movement with my bass will make the wings much less effective. Okay, here we go. This is the last run. Suspension 7, 31.595. Let's see the run. and that was the world record all vehicle. Let's digest the run. So this run was just extremely optimized and didn't include any new strategies. One of the most important parts about this run is the half boost brake. It was probably one of the best I have ever had. And also this slope was hit extremely well. I didn't lose any of my speed. The ramp part wasn't the best, I went too high and could have gotten even more speed, but I kinda bumped the ramp part too hard. Right here, I went too high, I could have went lower. And then the tunnel was extremely good. I was really surprised that I got this run, and that's because the run was 0.3 faster than my PB. That's because my run was almost 0.3 seconds faster than my PB. I have done another video on my channel where I explained it a bit more. Okay, we're gonna take a look at those leaderboards. I'm first there. The leaderboard is much different today because this video took a lot of time and effort, and the screenshots are already like 2 weeks old. There are more players, like Fuel Fire improved, Mercor is third with 33.1 I think. So yeah, that's not updated. So that's it for this video. Remember to never subscribe and never like, and to never click the notification bell. Have a good day or night and see you soon. Probably in the next video.